My husband built this house to withstand the hurricanes, and adding the metal roof was the icing on the cake.
We've lived on the Gulf Coast for about 40 years and built this house in 2005. Started out with a shingle roof, and in about 2018 we decided it was time to replace it, so we opted for a metal roof, and we've been very pleased with the metal roof. We're outdoors a great deal. One of the beauties of this site is the park across the street and access to the bay. We enjoy a lot of water sports and boating, but there is a downside in that we're subject to dramatic changes of weather.
I like to call it a blessing and a curse. All the wonderful things that we get to do on the Gulf Coast, but we get the storms.
So it's very important to make sure all your building systems that are incorporated in your house are prepared to accept these winds without damage.
During Hurricane Sally, we were standing at our front door looking out over the bay, and the trees were snapping off. We saw 4 trees snap and felt very safe and secure in our house.
Our house fronts the Mobile Bay looking west. The prevailing wind comes from the southwest, so we get direct wind every day. And the only difference is degree and whether water comes with it. We experience winds of 40 miles an hour and more on a routine basis, and the roof has performed very well. I've had a lot of experience with storms. I'm a lawyer, and in my practice, I practice construction and condominium law. So I've worked at the beach after every hurricane since 1985. And I've been on virtually every roof down there in every condominium and after the storms, and looked at a lot of different types of failures of roofs from hurricane events. I had one house down there that I personally owned that was direct Gulf front, and we had a storm and it took all the shingle roof off. And so I had to replace that roof, and the next year we had another storm, it did it again, took all the shingles off. So I opted for a metal roof, and I never had trouble with the roof again, even though we had multiple storms thereafter. When that storm's in the Gulf and the hurricane force winds come in that measure up to 100, 120 miles an hour, it's a significant event, and everything you own is subject to damage. And every step you can take to minimize that risk, such as the metal roof, it's worth the expense and the time invested. And so when I felt it was time to replace this roof, I felt like I had a good deal of knowledge to source the best roof for this house. And then I searched the different vendors, and I felt like I selected the right vendor for my roof.
Knowing that the vendor is part of an association that has the benefit of working with other vendors and learning and getting better at their trade, I think absolutely that affects my choice.
Color was important. I wanted a standing seam roof. I thought it blended in perfectly with the design of the house. One interesting thing about this roof is when I had shingles, leaves would collect in the valleys on this roof. And that problem to clean leaves off the roof doesn't exist with the metal roof, which is a plus for me. I've been very pleased with the lack of need for maintenance on this roof. Any money you spend on a metal roof, you get back at point of sale. And the better the roof, the more important that factor is.
I'm smiling because after the new roof went on, a couple of our realtor friends came by and said, "Oh gosh, I love your new roof."
The only thing I would have done differently is gone with the metal roof originally. I didn't as a cost-cutting factor when I built the house, and that was a mistake. I would have been better off had I started out with the metal roof.